Good morning, good morning. If you are one of those seeking for deeper answers, deeper than just surviving, just going to work, feeding your body, your machine, creating and procreating for the material world. If you seek those answers, if you seek God, if you seek God, actually you need to know what you're seeking, right? Many people think that God is a human form type of powerful entity stuck somewhere on the sky. We grew up with some sort of a easy to explain concept. You can't explain the kids that there is God, and God is sort of a super computer entity or super special entity, because they don't have the prerequisites, they don't have the basic information about computers, systems, mind, programmable energy. It's like they lose you in the process of explaining. It's like you have to come up with some sort of analogy. Unfortunately, lots of adults, they are still stuck with that explanation, even by their parents, who also got programmed to understand this type of concept that God is a human-like entity residing in the skies. That's fine, as long as those people do good for the society, do love, spread love, learn love. It's all that matter for this special entity, God or the field, whatever. Now, I want to make a shorter video. I don't know if it's possible for me. I don't know. It's it's not an easy to explain topic. Who's God? What's God? Okay. Now the science is trying to explain about quantum fields and the consciousness. It's kind of a merging between spirituality and science. Even most scientists are still stuck into the old thinking, which is based on their ego. They don't want to move, they don't want to change, they don't want to explore other avenues, or it's their survival instinct. They don't want to be kicked out of their community for saying or thinking differently than their own internal scientific community norms. So that's why you see most scientists not even talking about God. I mean, they might think, if they have their own mind trying to make them think deeper, but otherwise, they stick with what's known and what's measurable, and that's fine. So they limit themselves to whatever five senses and the scientific tools they have. Lots of people who grew up, who are more awake than asleep, will tell you that we are all gods. We are all creators. And I'll focus on this topic. To explain God, you can't. Nobody can explain God. What it is, what he is or she is. Different people come up with different theories and ways of thinking. Every time you go into a theory that is supposedly explaining who's God or what it is, will keep you away from the truth. And how it works, you think that you found an answer. It's your own answer or someone else's answer. Let's say you copy someone's theory. We have quantum theory, and now everyone is like jumping in. Whoa, it's a new tool, new toy. Like scientists, like yeah. Painters, quantum painting, nail painting. You know, no, quantum nail painting or whatever. You know, okay. Everyone is jumping for the new cool stuff, cool toys in the block. And the more people they get into the concept, the more it's building an energy around it. It's like growing an alive thought out of other people's thoughts connected to this thought, and it's growing. It's like an energy that is growing. You will not follow me until some point. So this idea of or globe of energy, which is not located into time and space somewhere, it's all in the same spot, like we are all in the same spot. Time and space, that's a concept that you need to understand. What's time and what's space? If you don't understand it, you may want to try my explanation, which I'm not your guru. My explanation after I came from a weird spiritual experience, right? What's time and space? Then you realize, not because of my explanation, because some science is studying this type of concept. If there is a time or there is a space, or if we are all into one computer chip or one God's mind, like an entity having a mind, thinking and creating humans, souls and material bodies and planets and universes and multiverses and all that. So probably I lost you already here. And I haven't got my coffee yet. I had only half a sip. So if I get the coffee, then I'll get going. That's why I'm talking a little bit slower today. It's a Nescafe, Nescafe instant coffee. Anyway, so these people, let's say, all connect to the same thought, and the more they think of it, the deeper they get into it, the bigger this thought grows. Because every time you go deeper into a topic, you grow an idea, a thought in your head. And the more people join the movement, that thought, the larger the thought it grows. But it doesn't grow into a space or time. No, it's just growing as an entity. It's an alive entity. It's an alive entity, but it's not alive in our understanding. Like, okay, living cell means alive entity. A fish is moving because it has a living cells. No, it's not that. It's alive because it has motion. And what motion is, because motion is related to time and space. It's very difficult to explain in different terms, but for human understanding, this idea or concept, let's say quantum field, if I talk about quantum field, it has own thinking. Why? Because it's connected to other minds. Every time people connect to the quantum field theory, just the theory, the thought itself, they tap into that program of quantum field theory. And every time they tap into it, there is an exchange of information. So information goes back and forth from the mind of an individual, so an individual mind, which is a creation of this God, to this program which is built and made up by these minds which are all part of God. So God is allowing these minds or thoughts to work as independent thoughts. So we are creation of this bigger mind which is God, or computer, that if you like to say computer, and we are all part of the same mind, but we are allowed to have own kind of own ways. Like each thought is kind of flying in their own way, based on certain rules. So we can do some stuff, but there are some universal rules that we need to follow. And there are a bunch of rules. One is the law of attraction. Other, there are. It's different topic. It's different. It's topic of a different video. I love the music. Anyway, yesterday Queen passed away, and it was. I don't know. I'm not one of those saying, you know what, I love the Queen. I'm so sad now. I'm a patriot. No. It's like I never wanted to become Canadian citizen. No, it was out of question, just because I didn't want to swear to the Queen. But I did respect her as a human being, as a human leader, and as a kind of appointed by God through where she was placed into the humanity. Like she came here as a soul, as a mind, with a plan and purpose, and she was implanted into this configuration to become a queen through her action, through her other people's action. So it's a scenario that it was preset that she was supposed to be a queen. I think that's my thinking. And of course they were variable, she could have died before, someone could have taken her throne, things like that. But the basic pattern of her life was already set before she came here. And for that thought, just for that thought, I do respect this type of person. It's taking people somewhere, like forget about destruction and stuff. So anyway, so she was another mind, part of this mind, like a big thing that we cannot imagine. So I need to pay attention to the traffic. So this, and I talk about energy programs, informational energy programs in the past. It's a concept that many people never heard of it. I would say most people, billions of people, never heard of it. Maybe I just made it up. Maybe I'm just a soul in a dream, dreaming that I'm recording a video for such a platform which is YouTube. Maybe that's the idea. And when I go back into the mind, into different configuration, leaving the body away somewhere, maybe I'll realize what the fuck dream was that, because now everything is clearer. But I was dreaming I was going to work, I was dreaming I had kids, because the thing is, it feels like I've been into another dream before. It feels for a while, and I don't know if it's that my mind telling me bullshit, but it feels that I was alive in different dream before, and kind of I came out of the dream, I realized what the heck was that, It feels like that. And it's really, really fucked up. Now, people build this type of programs, and the more people tap into it, the bigger it grows. Now, I want to conclude this video, to finish this video, because it's a topic that is like another rabbit hole. I create a thought, and it's a small thought. In our world, it's small. If it becomes a movement, more people would tap into it, and the power of the thought will grow. And I'll connect some dots. The power of the thought, the more people connect it. So if you and I mentioned that into another video, the more people think of Jesus, the more power you give to the thought of Jesus as a program, as an entity. Even you think that Jesus is not here, but the idea that the thought of Jesus is alive. So he was alive, created by a God, was a human being. Now he passed away. He was still alive because he was still a soul, but now it grew as a Jesus program that connects to the real soul. So Jesus as a program, it's still an alive program. It's kind of a mind built out of billions of or hundreds of millions of Christians thinking of this Jesus, and is growing as a power, and it's associated with that soul, the Jesus soul. And I'm confident that this Jesus soul is capable of doing miracles even after that, because the soul never died. The Jesus soul never died. It might reincarnate in different person, I don't know. If reincarnate, likely it will still be connected to that Jesus thought and powerful thought created by the humans. His legacy, you know, if you can follow me. Legacy is alive. It's an alive thing. The more people think of it, the longer it stays alive. And because every person thought is a bit different, is variable, it's kind of evolving and changing, and how it evolves over the time, in our reality. Let's say a lie, one lie, people make up a lie. So the person creates a lie, which is a negative vibe, and when the lie evolves, it changes, it morphs. And if more people add to or connect to that lie, let's say Darwin theory, it was not a lie, it was just a theory, but it just came to my mind. These scientists are modifying this theory, passing on. The teacher take this theory, model the theory through their own thinking. Many people take the theory from the books, which is more of a fixed type of information, and pass it on to the kids. But still, there are people who are powerful enough, not because they have muscle, but they are able to influence other people's minds. Let's say a country president, let's talk about Donald Trump. He was able to make up a lie, and the lie he was making was a program, and he was able to influence millions of followers to add their minds to the lie, and the lie grew up. But if someone else was more powerful in influencing other minds, the lie would kind of change its shape, would morph, would modify. So the followers of the big lie would think, yeah. At first it was like, it was good. It's good to inject some bleach to kill the COVID in the body. It's like, wow. So it was a big lie, right? It was a big program, and so many people added their minds to it, and they thought to their own reality. So each own mind has, through the five senses and through the body on earth, on this realm, they have their own reality, and that reality was now morphing and connecting to those minds, and through that reality the people, or those humans, or those souls, were able to process the information into the lie, into the bleach injection program. So each one, through their own reality, saw this one differently. The blind person, who has different reality, could not imagine what's in a syringe, because he never saw a syringe when he was born as a blind person. Never saw a syringe, so he doesn't know what's a syringe. He kind of feels the cylinder and feels the smell of the bleach, and he knows it pokes something, but the reality of the blind person is different. And when the blind person connects to the program of the bleach injected to kill the COVID, it will morph. The whole idea is going to be affected, the idea, or the program, the lie. So this is a concept about alive and morphing thoughts, or the idea or the program about the soul of Princess Diana. It was a big program that had this power, this energy around Diana's legacy, Diana's soul. But now, after 20 years, or more than 20 years, less and less people connect to it. Lots of people have passed away, and even their soul is still alive, but because they are gone, and they are not connecting their mind to this mind program about Princess Diana. And less and less people are talking about it, and when they talk through their reality and through the memories, the written memories or the passed on memories, which are all altered and modified through other people's reality. So even this program, the Princess Diana, is being modified, and it changes, and it's kind of fading away slowly. That's important to remember. Your parents, after they pass away, the longer you remember, the longer the legacy, and you build power of this program. But is it important to remember for the human existence? Yes, it is important, because it's part of our reality, our memories, and we build this type of kind of existence here, this type of dream, including our relatives, our friends, our pets, our life journey experience. So if I think of how many trips and travels and adventures I had, thousands, many are almost forgotten. I save them on some hard drives, and that's the way I kind of remember them. But because I'm just by myself, people in my family are not adventurous. We have lots of common adventures, but my adventure by myself are kind of fading away. So it's important to have people you go with in your adventure, even in your family life adventure. So the more people you add to the mix, the longer it lasts, your legacy, or that memory, or that program that you build with other people. Because you keep remembering, you keep talking, keep looking at pictures, keep thinking, right? But if you are one person, you build these memories, these mental programs that you build with your mind that carried your body around and build these adventures. At some point you will forget it, unless you have one adventure in your whole life, like you got married and kind of that was your big adventure. Also, I want to conclude now about demonic. What's demons? What's these bad entities? lots of people are being possessed, so-called possessed, but actually, you know what, those are mind created programs, and they are alive. The more people you drag into these things, the more power they get, and they appear that they do something. They do something like having intelligence. Of course, it has intelligence. Every thought has its own intelligence, because it connects to the minds of the creator. We are creators of our thoughts, right? And everything you create it's morphing, it has intelligence, it's connecting back and forth to the minds and to the main source. So if you create a lie, if you steal something, if you kill someone, if you do something stupid, like this chick, she is one of the prostitutes. It's second time I see her here. Probably she had sex the whole night, doing drugs or something, but it's like 8 o'clock and she is walking like a zombie. Those people are possessed by certain demonic thoughts, which probably were created by the parents and the ancestors, but not only created, but they were passed on. It's called generational curse, when people take these energies which are not touchable, just it's thoughts and programming. The way people, like let's say someone grew up with no love, and when they have kids they will pass on a way of thinking, which is it's programming. So they program their kids to think that way, and that's the way the generational curse keep going. Or if the intelligent mind created program is powerful enough, can morph and grow and become some sort of its own demon, its own entity that is trying to find a host. So that's on a different topic. I just got to my workplace. I'm saying that if you have, let's say, if you have something in the house, it's a haunted house, and you don't know what it is, but you heard that this entity is kind of bugging you, right? This is one of those mind created programs that kind of it's moving around into our material realm, and it has its own thinking. It just detached from the minds that created it. It's like now it's kind of its own, on its own, right? My English is not really good. Anyway, so another mind has the power to get rid of it. So there are people who know other programs, like spiritual programs, that have the ability to get rid of these entities. So these entities follow certain universal laws of the whole mind, and there are people who are able to remove these entities by applying certain techniques which follow this natural mind laws or universal laws or principles. And let's say a parent is poisoning the child mind. Let's say a parent is not in a good relationship with the other parents, right? With the spouse, and the parent has hate. It's like okay, she cheated, I hate her, and the guy who got cheated on is going to join another group of similar people, misogynist guys. I'm making up an example, and it's growing a state of hate. It's growing, it's because it taps into a program which is called hate, and this mind will seek similar minds who also tap into the same program called hate. And all these hateful people are going to talk about another programs like a hate, and how like a cheating is another program created by these minds. And they are talking and amplifying, and the more people connect, the more vibe this thought is growing within that group. So they create their own kind of a demon. And the thing is that the parent comes home and is now poisoning the boy, telling the boy, you know what, all the women are whores, are cheaters, are bad people, you know, stuff like that. And the boy is now, it's a weak mind, it's joining the big thought. And the thought stays around the house. Why? Because it's connected to the items in the house. It's connected to the items. Every time a person connects to something, it's connected to that program which contains maybe elements on the house. Every time, let's say you see something, it's a trigger for the mind, and the mind will see, oh yeah, every time I see this cup, it reminds me of my dad. Every time I get into the house, I feel like I want to trash talk my partner, and it feeds the kid. The kid is like, oh yeah, because the kid generally gets rewarded by the parent for joining the parent thought. It's like, oh yeah, that's why that's the way I train my puppy. I give the puppy some candies every time approves my commands, right? If the puppy executes my commands, I give the puppy a candy. Same thing with programming the kids how to have a poisoned mind. Anyway, so that's a demon installed in the house by this mind, this poisoned mind. And you think you can clean it up, but no, because the mind's already connecting to these programs, to items in the house. And you cannot get rid of that demon, because it kind of, every time you look around the house and you connect the mind to these programs, it refreshes. It's like it stays alive. It's like a legacy. You build a poisonous thought about something, a cheating or whatever, about a spouse or something, and every time you keep thinking of it, it's refreshing. So you cannot get rid of it. Even you move away, you go to another country, let's say for a vacation, and you come back, and the items in the house are the same, are still there, right? And now the